Morning and welcome to the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News Channel 10-2. I'm David Lovejoy,
Good morning, everybody. I'm Rhonda.
and Chuck's away from the desk, and we're joined today by our man, Jody Holland. Each and every week he stops by and we get better with him. Jody, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited about this week and excited about the rest of this year.
That's good. That's good. And it's only March, and so
I know.
He's excited about
that's
it all.
good. That's okay.
Well, you always help us get better. And so today we want to talk about managing performance at work. Tell
And
us.
it's a fun topic, but it's also one of those a lot of times people are like, "Oh, no, 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 no. No, no performance
Right.
reviews. I don't like those. Oh, no, no tough conversations." But in reality, when we're managing performance, what we're doing is we're helping people effectively succeed in their role. It's not it's not about making people quote unquote do the things they're supposed to do, but it's about helping people understand the different strategies that will get them to their end goal. And I think performance reviews have been done wrong a lot, and
Mhm.
that's what's given them a bad rap, because you think about most of the time, you get to the end of the year, and I realize we're just in March, but this is the time you wanna be thinking about what you're gonna do by the end of the year. But you get to the end of the year and you sit down for a performance review, and whatever happened in the last 2 weeks, that's how you're gonna get rated.
Mhm.
Really not about the whole year, it's really about the emotional feeling that your boss has for the 2 weeks prior to doing that performance review. That's why so many people are so nice to their bosses right before performance review season. But the truth is, like, there's different models of doing performance reviews. Managing performance, though, is something that happens on a regular basis. You have to have a coaching model that's in place so you know how to help people get to the level of success that they want to and the best that they could. But you also have to know what you're measuring throughout the year. And this is where I think performance reviews really get messed up, because we get to the end of the year and we're like, what was their attitude like? Well, I don't remember for the whole year, but just recently. So instead, I use, or the one that I encourage people to use, is what's called a critical achievement model. And that is, you need to know what your primary goals or measurables are for what you're supposed to accomplish for the year. And I would typically say, hey, you pick three for each of your people that are your direct reports that tie into the organizational goals. And then they pick three stretch assignments that have metrics or measurables with those assignments. And then you have a conversation every month about where they are on those six primary goals. Those critical achievements for the job, plus understanding the job description, make it all work. What most people do is what's called a value-based performance model, though. And that is, at the end of the year, we talk about their values, we talk about how we think they did, that kind of stuff. And it's not that values are bad, it's just that we typically don't have the conversation about how we're judging what a value is in a person, because your behaviors and your outcomes demonstrate your values. We just skip over that part and go, you know, operated with integrity.
Mhm.
But if you can't come back and say, hey, to be a person of integrity means you're doing these four things, then the person is never going to know what they're being measured on. So that's why I think measurables are so important. And even more important is monthly conversations.
Mhm.
And I've been doing this for a little over 23 years now as a consultant. And I still have people say, oh, I just don't think we have time for a monthly conversation. You're talking 15 or 20 minutes one on one with each of your direct reports. And you really should only have 12 or fewer direct reports. If you have 180 direct reports, I get it. You can't do that.
Mhm.
But you also can't manage 180 people directly. You've got to have layers of leadership if you're ever going to actually manage performance. So that's kind of the basis of it, is that you do need to review your job description, but most importantly, every single year you need to establish, how will we measure your success this year in your role? And when they understand how that's being measured, that guides those monthly conversations. And you look at where you are on the continuum of success with each of the goals.
One thing I've noticed, like, just, me trying to find a job or whatever, is there are no job descriptions,
Mhm.
for what you're applying for. And it feels like these people are just making things up on the fly.
A
Um,
lot more.
and that really makes it hard on the employee, and I would think the employer. How important is it to have these structures in place?
If you don't know what you expect from a job, you cannot, 100% cannot manage performance for that job. You have to have an effective job description. If you don't have that, like, give us a call. We'll help you write some job descriptions that are accurate and that have measurables in there. There's a number of HR consulting companies in this area. Call any one of them, but you've got to have those job descriptions or you won't know what goals to tie to the job description, because the job description is the guide for the activities that you should be doing. We mess up when we use other duties as assigned as the primary descriptor, because then nobody knows how to succeed. Go do a good job. I don't know what that means. Like, nobody knows what that means
Yep.
except for the person who said it, and they typically don't articulate it. They wait till you do something and they go, no, 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 that's not what I meant. I meant this other thing. So it does have to be an accurate job description and tie goals to the job description each year.
I think you see in today's business world or the employment world, when you evaluate employees or when a company evaluates their workers, it seems like they're not being evaluated on their job skill. It's the evaluation on whether I personally like you or not. I
Yeah.
have a problem with that because I don't have to like you to work with you or to
Right.
say you have a good job. Are we seeing that in business nowadays that we've got to remove that element of personal like or dislike or personal traits, and can you do the job is the key thing we're trying to get to.
Yeah, and I think the tough part is we've been teaching people that their emotions are the truth.
Mhm.
They may be their truth, but they're not the truth.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's where we've gotten in a lot of the business stuff. Because I remember, I mean, when I first went into business, I have a lot of respect for the people that I have worked with and that have worked for me, but it didn't always like them.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure they didn't always like me, but we were very upfront, like what you're describing, David, that we're not here to be buddies.
I have to be your
We're
friend.
here to accomplish something worthwhile. And we always respected one another. We were never mean to each other, but they weren't necessarily the people I want to hang out with. And so
Right.
in our performance reviews from the very beginning, I had to tie it to something measurable related to the job. Because if I didn't like a person and I was doing a performance review and I had no measures, well, then my only measure becomes whether or not I like them. So it is an issue, and it's something that we're dealing with, I think, more so now than even before, that somebody can be a superstar, but they don't fit your personality mold, and so you don't like them.
Right.
Like,
Right.
did you hire him to be your buddy? Because if you're hiring friends, that's a little different. Or did you hire them to accomplish something worthwhile?
Mhm.
That's it. That's it. And I get in trouble for this sometimes. I always say, look in the memo on your check when you get your pay stub. Does it have anything on there about feelings? You don't get paid for how you feel. I don't care how you feel. That's not what you're
You
getting
know,
paid.
and I'm going to throw this out there. I do care how people feel.
I
But it's
do,
not
Yeah.
the
but that's not what
basis
you're
of
getting paid
managing performance.
for.
So you want to try to create the best culture you can, but being happy all the time is not a requirement for going and achieving something worthwhile. And that, like talked about that in Supervisor 101, the event we just had, but I go really in depth in our next event in Management 101 on how do you structure that? Because that's the part, like, I wasn't trained on that in the beginning. I had to
Right.
go read a bunch of books on how to manage performance because, I mean, shockingly, I didn't learn in college to manage other people's performance. I barely learned to manage my own
I
performance.
know it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's it. Like, yeah, I'm just lucky to be here. That's
Yeah.
all I'm doing.
I graduated thank laude, not summa cum laude.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with Jody Holland, the answer man, right here on the chat on Newsday Amarillo and News.